Being a single mother. Let's talk about the pros. Let's talk about the cons. And let's talk about what my experience has been. So, as you guys know, I am a single mother of two beautiful daughters. To me, my greatest blessing, my greatest job. But let me tell you, it is not the easiest. It's probably the most challenging thing I've ever had to deal with being a mom. And I feel like all my mothers, all the mothers, not only the single mothers, can relate. Being a mother is very, very, very challenging and very intense throughout the whole process. Having someone to do it with is absolutely amazing. I think it's beautiful. But when you do it alone, it sucks the living hell out of you. Now let's talk about some of the in-depth parts of being a single mother and being a mother in general. So many people talk about how, like, oh my God, you make it look so easy. Do I? Do you actually know what it is to be a mom? Like, just fathom the thought of being responsible for a human being. Their breathing, their eating, their sickness, their health, their situations, their personalities, their characters, their choices. Every single detail and aspect of their life relies on you. The mistakes that they see you make, how you handle those mistakes, how you handle obstacles. You are their prime example. Now, yes, a lot of young women and men write me on Instagram and tell me, oh my God, you're my model. Oh, I look up to you. But it's different when this is the person that relies solely on you, coming from the person that's solely on you. Before I became a mom, my whole life, I thought that I would find my Prince Charming. We would fall in love, have a beautiful family, and raise our children together. That's what I always thought my life would be. And maybe I didn't make certain right choices in the beginning stages of my life. Maybe. Or maybe I've never settled for anything less than what I've always wanted. And maybe my choices have turned out to be the way that my life is right now. And I'm okay with that. I always hold myself accountable. I never play the victim. I'm always the victor. So coming from that, when I had my first child, which is Gigi, that I adore so much, this girl came into my life and completely changed my life, where I wanted to do more. I wanted to be more. I wanted to be that example. I wanted to lead by example. And I wanted her to look at me and say, you know what? My mom never gave up, so I will never give up. So I strive to be that woman. But it's also hard balancing being both parents at the same time. Although my daughter's fathers are very much in their lives, but they live with me. They wake up with me. Everything relies on me, and that I'm their prime example. So I'm not saying I'm perfect. I will never be perfect, but I also teach them throughout my situations. And I also let them know that, hey, just like you, I'm trying to figure it out as well. And I'm trying to figure it out for all of us. So being a single mom, I try to protect my children as much as possible, because anything that could happen would fall on me. And I could never, allow for anything to happen to my children out of me, coming from me. So I'm a very protective mom. So many people know me, but not many know my children. Not many have, for example, come around my kids or come to my house. I'm not an inviting person to everyone to have access to my children. Coming from a woman that also has been abused and dealt with sexual harassment and rape, Having two daughters mean so much to me. And protecting them physically, mentally, and spiritually and emotionally plays a very big role in my family. So finding the balance psychologically, and finding the balance within giving the right amount of love. I do my best to build strong women. I do my best to teach them self-confidence, showing them that I do believe in them, showing them that their purpose is greater than them. Self-confidence plays a very big role in how you raise a child. If you don't add self-confidence to a child, they will doubt anything that they think about, anything that they would want to do. They will doubt themselves at every inch. They would compare themselves to everyone else. And living in a world where there's so much comparison, and I talk about this in so many videos of mine, I want to raise my kids to know that they're enough. How do I do that? Any little win, we celebrate it. For example, Gigi gets good grades on her own. I'm not the mom to make my kids study, étudier, take lessons. No, I don't do that. So on her own, she's been becoming honor roll and having straight A's as a student. That's a very big win. So I start with celebrating her studying by herself and doing her homework by herself. And that gradually escalates to the self-confidence that she builds in order to become a straight A student. So that's just one example. You may ask yourself, Mati, how is she getting the emotional balance if, you're the only one giving the love, the care? No, her dad is at a distance, but he's still available. When I first had Gigi, I was 21 years old. Her dad and we agreed to be very good friends and have a very human-to-human relationship in order to raise this child, because this child did not ask to be born. I feel like we've done such a great job. I think we've done a great job being sociable, putting our family first, putting this child first. You might think that, okay, yes, a family is supposed to have a mom and dad. I totally agree. I was raised with a mom and dad. Thank God I come from a very loving background where I've watched my dad love on my mom and I've watched my mom love on my dad. And I remember there was a time in my life I was like, oh my God, I need my daughter to see me being loved so that she knows what that means. As she grows and starts dating and gets to the age of dating and, possibly finding her husband and her life partner, she needs to see what that looks like. But at the same time, again, your child is watching you. What you bring to your home is going to affect that child. Any imbalancement that child is going to feel it. For example, I've always dated, as a single mom, I've always dated outside of my home until I'm very sure I don't bring this person in her environment, because you are new. How will she know? She's also a child, and I have to protect her. So that's just quite a few examples of my parenting with my kids, raising my children. Now, there are pros and there are cons. You might say, oh, being judgmental, and that's okay because everybody has their own choices. You might want, say that, hey, you still want that man to be there, da, da, da. Yes, I do. I would love to have a husband that can bring so much more forth to my children. Yes, I would love that. But I also rather be a single mom than be raising my daughters in an unhappy home, an unstable home. I grew up watching my dad love on my mom and vice versa. But there are families that are pretty much more intense. So instead of raising my kids in a place of, how would I call it? Résilient. How do I say résilient? In a place where I've settled for less, where they've seen a man abuse of their mom or beat on their mom or hate on their mom, I rather raise them by myself. I rather be the one to give them the love. I rather be a happy mom and they see the effort that their mom has made to never give up on them and to always show up for them. Although the subject is so vast, I can go on and go on about so many things about being a single mother. Maybe this is part one and we'll continue on with something else. But ultimately, it is one of the most hardest and toughest jobs. But their smiles and their little moments of joy with me mean the world to me. And being such a hyperactive person, I travel a lot for work. I have so many things going on. I'm an influencer. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a makeup artist. And I have my personal emotions and feelings that I go through. But they help me to grow so much. They teach me day by day how to become a better person and to be a better person so that they could have a better mom. It's hard financially. It's hard spiritually. It's hard physically. Trying to be around for little people that didn't ask to be born. I'm going to take an example with you guys. I had a New York class December 9th, right? And my youngest had a Christmas show at her school December 8th at 7 p.m. My class was at 10 a.m. the next day. I had to find a flight that was leaving that night, which was at 2:30 a.m. I had to leave, okay, my home, to catch a flight to get to New York by 5:30, take an hour nap, and get ready for my class at 10 o'clock in the morning. Now, you guys know New York traffic, right? These are sacrifices that I have to make because guess what? One thing you don't want to leave your child with is knowing that she doesn't have anyone to applaud her or be there for her within her greatest moments. It might seem like a Christmas show to you, like, oh, I'm not going to miss out on there's plenty more to come. But when she looks into that crowd and doesn't see her mom and see all her friends' parents, she's going to feel some type of way. These are sacrifices that need to be made. Yes, I was ready for my class. Yes, I was tired though. But guess what? I had to show up for her and I had to show up for my business at the same time. So a lot of times you have to compromise your life. When having a child, you choose to compromise your life. You choose to bring life forth, and this person solely relies on you again. And that person, whatever you add to that little human being, is going to make them or break them. So are we making better people or are we breaking the next generation? I do my best to crush any generational curse. And I speak truth to my children in order for them to really know that their mom is honest, their mom will never lie to them, and their mom will always have their back. Being a single mom, yes, it's hard, but it also has its benefits. I've thrived to be the woman that I am today and still thriving because I have these two people that rely on me. Now, if I didn't have them, I'm pretty sure I would still thrive, but not as hard as I thrive now. Not as hard as I go and move forward to become a better person, a better makeup artist, a better career woman, and a better entrepreneur, and a better mom. I think that's that. This is my take on being a single mom. Hopefully we have a part 2 where we can elaborate, or if you guys have any questions, please don't hesitate to write them down in the comments below. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video. And please choose the people that you have kids with wisely and choose having a child for you, okay? Not for other reasons, but for specifically for you. And I hope you find a partner that sees that. Have a good one.